Hello. I still find myself rigging characters by hand a lot, in which case I grab my IK chains and I set up my IK constraint. But as soon as I assign the pole target and we turn this on, we see that the pole angle has lurched the leg out of position in this case. So that angle is something that can be calculated, and if you don't have any kind of mathematical hookup for this, you kind of have to dial it in by hand, and then you have to do this silliness where you try to turn it on and off and A, B it, and see, how does it affect the chain. But this always bothered me because there's a perfect mathematical way to do this, and Blender does not ship with one, but it's there. So I'm happy to say that a add-on that I wrote just got approved on the extensions platform, so we can just go to Edit, Preferences, Get Extensions, and we're going to search for Bone Math. And I need to refresh my repository list. And there we go. Oh, it's no hyphen. There we go. Bone Math. And we will install that. There we go. And that's all there is to it. And now there is a right-click option here on, if you specifically right-click on pole angle, you can just say calculate pole angle. And that will automatically correctly calculate the pole angle needed to put the IK chain back in the resting position. And you'll see that if I toggle this on and off, you cannot see any kind of lurching happening because the angle was perfectly calculated. And we can do the same thing on this one. Right click, calculate pole angle. And it should even work if we grab multiple of these. We can right click here, hold Alt, click calculate pole angle, and it'll get both of them at the same time. So this is, so if you're still rigging by hand like I am fairly frequently, instead of using a full auto rigging solution, then you kind of need a piece of math to calculate that for you. And that is now just built into the Bone Math extension. It's as simple as that. If you want to know how it works, I have this example file here. And we can take a look on the Bone Math on the extensions platform up here. extensions.blender.org/addons/bonemath. And you can do get add-on, or you can do it from Blender's interface. And if you want to know how this works, we can see this example file here. It's fairly interesting. What it does, I've built a visualizer here. The official one does not use geometry nodes. I just remade it in geometry nodes here to do the same math so you could see what's going on, is that we actually take the vector from the head of the chain down to the tip of the chain down here. So that's this red line. And then we take the vector from the head of the chain again all the way to the pole. And these two vectors together can produce a plane. And on that plane, if we take the cross product of those two, we end up with this blue line here with the that third arrow. Now that third arrow is it's perpendicular to the plane that this red and this green arrow make, but it's not necessarily perpendicular to the head of the chain here. And because the pole angle is essentially rolling that head bone along that axis there, it turns out you need to take the cross product again this time. So notice here, it's very subtle, but you'll notice here the blue line is not aligned with this circle here that represents the head bone's plane of rotation. The angle here, we take a cross product of this blue line with the bone's Y direction there, and this spits out this second dashed line here. So what we end up with is essentially, in a way, projecting this green line to the pole up into the bone's plane up there. And now that we have that dashed line up there, we compare the signed angle between the bone's x-axis and this projected axis. And that is what we need to calculate the number. And there's the number calculating right there. And it's just a matter of plugging that in directly into the IK constraint. And that is all we need to calculate the pole angle. And all you need to do, right click here, calculate pole angle, and it will get you the right pole angle. And in this case, I moved that. We'll just do a quick apply selected as rest pose. Turn this on. We see it lurches out of place. One more time, calculate pole angle, and we're good. And we are aligned. That's all there is to it. Have fun with the add-on here, you can either click on Get Add-on and drag it into Blender, drag that right in, or you can get it from Edit Preferences, Get Extensions. Hope you find this useful, and I hope that your rigging adventures are made a little bit easier with this. I hope to add new features over time, but this was kind of the most pressing one as far as bone math goes. Good luck.